So this first day of his second year in office, what now for the president? What now for Democrats? Joining us now, Democratic strategist Karen Finney and Republican strategist Danny Vargas. We put you on the left and right, respectively, to make this easier for people tuning in right now. Karen, I pose this question to you as we speak about health care. Speaker Nancy Pelosi says that the House simply does not have, from the Democratic caucus, enough votes even to pass the Senate bill. So do Democrats need to give up on health care and start all over, given all the political capital already invested in this?
No, obviously not. And I don't think the message from voters on Tuesday was that they don't want health care. I think what they want is a Washington that is more connected to their lives and their needs. I mean, if you were somebody in this country over the last year struggling, whether it was, losing your job, losing your health care, trying to send your kids to college, and you turned on the television and saw members of Congress arguing over the details rather than coming together and figuring out how to get something done, you'd probably be pretty angry too. So I think what the president needs to do, and I think next week with the State of the Union is the perfect opportunity, he really needs to kind of go back to the fundamentals and talk to the American people about where we go from here. What is the vision that of where he's trying to take the country? He spent a lot of time in this last year having to undo the damage from President Bush. Now he's got to really talk to people about what we're trying to do and why it matters in their lives. As he pointed out last night, a lot of the debate and discussion going on here in Washington has not felt like it resonated and was meaningful to people on Main Street.
So let me pick up on that thought, Karen, with Danny. And Danny, I want to get a sense from you. Is this sort of a throw the bums out thought that was demonstrated in Massachusetts? Does it apply exclusively to the Democrats, or is this across the board? And as President Obama himself said, he said it's the same wave of frustration, anger he claims that brought him to office, this anger about the last 8 years that was at play here, not anger about the past year. What do you think on that?
Well, Peter, I think to a certain extent I agree with Karen. I think there's a general sense among the population right now, not just in Massachusetts. We saw it in New Jersey, we saw it in Virginia as well. The population really does want Washington to be more responsive, be more focused on the things that they really care about. Whereas the president and the Democratic leaders in Congress have been focused on so many other things that really don't matter from a kitchen table perspective, things like cap and trade, things like this incredible debacle with the health care reform package that had trillions of dollars of new spending, that had billions of dollars of new taxes, had huge cuts to Medicare, and a process by which they saw the worst in Washington. They saw backroom deals and bribes to buy votes. The American public just does not want this, and they repudiated that over and over again in the last several elections.
And Karen, next Wednesday, when the president speaks to the country, what will he tout as what he has done? SNL, even Saturday Night Live, has joked to the fact that the one thing he certainly has done in the last year is nothing. So what's the number one thing that he'll say to Americans? Here's what I've done.
Yeah. Well, let's remember where we were when this president came into office. I mean, we were literally on the brink of financial disaster. And he did, with the help, I will admit, from the Bush administration, brought us back from that point. And we actually are starting to see some signs of progress. What we know, though, is not enough of that recovery is making its way to Main Street. So I hope what he'll also talk about is a very core focus on jobs and the economy and how we create jobs and get this economy moving again. So I think it's unfair to say he's done nothing. I think he's had a lot on his plate from the beginning. I think he's made some really important inroads in repairing America's and restoring our relationships around the world. I think that's critical to our national security. Let's not forget we've got the threat of terrorism still with us.
Understood it. And Danny, I want to get you in with one final thought.
I do. I think if the president is able to focus on jobs and the economy, I think that would be a positive thing. We still have 10% of the American public that's unemployed, and when you count in the folks that have just given up, it's closer to 17%. We should have been focused on jobs and fixing the economy with free market reforms from the get-go. And yes, we can have to walk and chew gum. We had to make sure that the financial system was stable, and we need to make sure from a national security perspective that we were doing everything we could to keep us safe. But from day one, it should have been a focus on jobs and the economy.
Danny Vargas and Karen Finney, to both of you, I say thanks for your time.
Thank you.